Welcome to GCSE Maths. In this video we're going to have a look at percentages and fractions, how to convert them and how to order them as well from smallest to largest. So in the first part we're going to look at how to express fractions as percentages. Now one key thing is to remember that percentages are a fraction out of 100. Because if you think when you look at your phone and if it's 50% charged, that's 50% out of 100. If it was at 40% charge, it would be 40%, 40 out of 100. And if you write it as out of 100, well, the numerator is always going to be the same as the percentage. So in order to convert these fractions into percentages, the best thing we can do is we can convert the denominator so the fraction is out of 100 and then the numerator will be the percentage. So first I'm going to convert 2/5 to a percentage. Well, 5 times 20 is 100, so if I times the top and bottom by 20, that will get me 40 out of 100. And as we can see, the numerator is just the percentage, so that will be 40%. The next one is 3 out of 25. Well, to make 25 100, we need to multiply by 4. So if we times the top and bottom by 4, we will get, well, 3 times 4 is 12. 12 out of 100, that's 12%. And for the last part, this is larger, 168 over 200. 200 is larger than 100. So instead of multiplying for this question, we're going to need to divide. 200 divided by 2 gets us 100. So in order to write 168 over 200 as out of 100, we're going to need to divide the top and bottom by 2. 168 divided by 2 is 84. Therefore, the percentage is 84%. The next part, we're going to need to convert percentages to fractions. So remember, for the last question, we said that a percentage is out of 100, which means we could just write percentages as over 100. It will be a little bit different when we convert 5.8 to a percentage. And you also need to think about whether you can simplify it, because in questions they'll often ask you to write it as a fraction in its simplest form. So don't forget to do that. 78% as a fraction is 78 out of 100. And we can divide the top and bottom by 2. So 78 divided by 2 is 34 out of 50, which is our answer for, no, it's not 34, it's 39, sorry, out of 50, which is our answer. And for part B, 5%, that's 5 out of 100. To convert it to a fraction, we can divide, to convert it to its simplest form, we can divide by 5. 5 divided by 5 would be 1. 100 divided by 5 would be 20. So as a fraction in its simplest form, it's 1 over 20. And for part C, which is 5.8 over 100, we want to write it as a whole number, top and bottom, so we're going to times it by 10. If it's to one decimal place, times by 10. If it's 2 decimal places, times by 100. 3 decimal places, you have to times it by 1,000, and so on. And we're going to times this by 10 because the numerator is to 1 decimal place, and that'll give us 58 over 1,000. And because they're both even, we can divide by 2, which will give us 29 over 500 is our answer for that one. Next question, we're going to have a look at ordering percentages and fractions from smallest to largest. In this question, what I'd do is I'd convert the fractions to percentages. That will be much easier, because if we wrote them all as fractions, we'd have to convert everything so it was over the same denominator, which would take a lot more work than converting the fractions into percentages. So in this case, I'm going to, if I want to write 23 over 50 as over 100, I'm going to need to times top and bottom by 2, which will give me 46 over 100. That means it's 46%. I'm going to write 3 over 20 over 100, which I'd need to times the top and bottom by 5 in order to do that, which will give me 15 over 100, so it's 15%. And now that I've converted everything to percent, it'll be quite easy to order. When I'm writing it in order, though, I'm going to need to still write them as fractions. So I'll have 11.9%, and I'll have 13.1%. I'll have 3 over 20 next, because that's 15%. And finally, I'll have 23 over 50, which is a lot bigger because it's 46%. So that's how to order them, percentages and fractions in order from smallest to largest, convert the fractions to percentages, and then you can quite easily see which ones are larger, which ones are smaller. And finally, for the last part, we're going to have a look at how to find a fraction of a percentage and how to find a percentage of a fraction. So first of all, let's find 5/6 of 66%. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to find a sixth of 66%. And to find a sixth of something, we need to split it into 6 parts. So we're going to divide it by 6. And 66 divided by 6 is 11. And if we want to have 5/6 of that, we need to times 1/6 by 5. So it'll be 11 times 5, which will be 55%. And to find a percentage of a fraction, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first convert the percentage into a fraction itself as well. So I'm going to do 20 over 100. I can divide top and bottom by 20 to simplify it. That'll give me 1/5. And if I want to find a fifth of 3/7, I can do that by multiplying them together. So I'm going to have 1/5 times by 3/7. 1 times 3 is 3. 5 times 7 is 35. So it's 3 over 35. And that doesn't simplify any further. So to find a percentage of a fraction, convert the percentage into a fraction and then multiply them together. Right, thank you for watching. I hope you found that helpful. If you liked the video and like to watch more videos, please hit the subscribe button. For practice questions, please visit my website, www.mitchellmathsandscience.com. The link will be in the description.